Welcome back, everybody. Joining us now are the co-founders of the organization Redo Voting. CEO Brian Oravetz and President Dr. John Rogers joins us now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Amanda.
Brian, I will go to you first. I will say Redo Voting came across my purview a few months ago. It's very intriguing. Talk to us about what it is and what the mission is for Redo Voting.
So Redo Voting was a system that came about because we're a bunch of veterans, so we're a little bit salty and we take a run at things whenever we see a problem. So Redo Voting simply came about. We're in a technology company in that we started building an application that was starting to run towards an application, and the IRS came out, said they were going to have an app. We think we can do this a better way. So what we've done is we've taken pre-existing technologies, scratch off lottery tickets, for example. It's the most secure document in the world. And we've made that into a ballot. This ballot runs on the same printing presses that your lottery tickets, and it's delivered by the same people that deliver it across your state. So it's a very simple process. It's a postcard-sized ballot. You can go in and pick one up anywhere where you can purchase alcohol, cigarettes, anybody that's going to scan your IDs. First thing that happens is the clerk will scan the barcode in the bottom left of the ballot, and then they'll scan the back of your driver's license or your state-issued ID. Once that's done, you've done the magical thing called cleaning up the voting rolls, so nobody can vote in your stead anymore. After that, you'll scratch off the first QR code. Once that's done, you confirm your information, you hit submit. Now you're nothing but a very secure hash in the system, so nobody's going to know your identity. And you don't have to do a thing until voting day comes around when you scratch off the second QR code. That really opens up your ballot slate. And you could be on the International Space Station on voting day, and you could still vote when the polls are open. So you make your selections, you hit submit, and then when the polls close, we provide the results. 10 minutes after the polls close, we provide the software itself, the code, because this is mathematically provable, and anybody that wants to vet the election themselves, they can do that.
And what a novel idea to take the modern technologies we have, the authentication we have, and apply it to our election system. So we're not waiting 4 days to get election results. It's insane. We just watched what happened in Arizona, Washington State. John, tell us a little bit about why we've gotten to the system. How did we get more technologically capable in America and less able to count votes accurately? When did we cross that threshold?
Well, over the past couple of years, we have been dealing with a pandemic. And so people's ability to actually go out and vote has been somewhat truncated. So the next obvious evolution in voting is going to be, but it's been hit or miss because it's difficult to secure a system like that. So when we first started looking at this, we worried less about what the system was going to be and more about what the problem was. So we spent a lot of time defining what that was.
Yeah, so important.
Dr. Rogers, I don't know if this is a better question for you or for Brian, but I can hear the state legislatures now. I can hear the elected officials now. It's too expensive. Now, I would argue that there is no price tag on transparent and free and fair elections. But is that one of the pushbacks that you were expecting to hear from folks when trying to implement this into our voting system?
It is one of the pushbacks we expect to hear. The good news is we have a very good answer for that. Because our system is based on input from an internet browser, not an application, and distribution of the ballots is a procurement issue at the state level, we can do this very cheaply. In fact, there was a study that came out of MIT in 2017 that showed the average cost of an election per voter across the country was $8.10. Off the top, we can do this for $5 per voter, and the cost never goes up.
Wow. Save money and make it more secure and more efficient. I like that idea already. Brian, let me ask you this. The expansion of early voting and absentee and vote at home is sort of what the states that have had the most expansion have had the most problems. Talk about how this system would fit into an early voting and day of system where we're seeing these hybrids now pop up all across the country, including even in Georgia.
Sure. So one of the nice things about the system is, one, right now it's too close to any election to try and jam a system through. So what we set out to do is to build something that's going to work alongside anything else that's out there right now. We have the ability to give voters the choice. They can use our system or they can use the machines, and they can wait a few weeks to get the results, or they can use ours where there are no machines and get the results when the election's over. The nice thing about this as well is that it eliminates the need for ballot boxes. So ballot harvesting is a thing of the past.
Wow.
Now, that said, some people can still request an absentee ballot if you're out of the country. That's no problem. You can still vote on voting day.
Outstanding.
Incredible. Yeah, Brian, I know that you guys have had some media spotlights, and you've already reached some benchmarks of success with this program. Talk to us about that.
So it's been pleasantly shocking, the traction we've received. The people that don't want to hear about us are the ones we need to take a look at anyways, but the reception, once we explain this to people, and they have that aha moment where they realize, well, if I can work an ATM machine, I can work this system. If I can scratch off a lottery ticket, I can use this as well. That's the only thing you have to do to use a system. So unbelievably simple. And once people realize that, they want it now.
Yeah, they do want it now. I think people have lived through too many hanging elections to wait any longer. What is the process by which a state can begin a conversion like this? I mean, what are the next steps? You have proof of concept. You've got the entire system meted out. What sort of discussions are there? Any states that are saying, hey, I want to be first in to try this? Anyone starting to show some serious interest?
We are ecstatic. We're entrepreneurs. So I will say this, we have the first world problem of very high demand. States, you could probably guess a few of the states that are very interested, but yes, we do have quite a few interested. We've met with many secretaries of state, many attorneys general. We've met all the qualifications for fitting within voting laws and rules and regulations in all 50 states. The nice part about this, we're military, we're corporate, so we know a little bit something about procurement. So if a state wanted to buy this, the slick little thing we did is we're a line item on the printing budget for a state lottery. We're not a purchase, because all you're buying is scratch off ballots coming from the same printers that 45 states are already getting secure documents from.
Wow, interesting.
Dr. Rogers, I don't mean to make this political. Actually, that's a lie. I make everything political. But as far as the reception from folks that are interested in implementing something this secure, I'm curious about the breakdown, the difference in support between Republicans and Democrats. Are you finding that it's the same? Because, you know, we all remember once upon a time when Democrats like Elizabeth Warren were questioning the validity of Dominion voting machines. And there have been questions on both sides of the aisle. Hillary Clinton thought that the 2016 election was stolen. Of course, folks on the Republican side have questions about the 2020 election. When you are talking to state officials about implementing this into their voting, do you find better reception on one side or the other?
That's a very good question. And you made a very good observation there, talking about faith in the election system depending on who won or lost the election. I will say that we have had significant traction on both sides. And I think an awful lot of that has to do with the way we present the issue. If you talk about election integrity as being a function of people trying to cheat the system, you're immediately going to turn off half of the country. If you talk about election integrity as a way to improve an already good system, you're going to turn off the other half of the country. So the way we have approached this is talking about it in terms of making the system better and what it is you want out of a system. We have been able to talk on some conservative shows. I've had an interview on NPR. So both sides are open to this.
Exciting. Amazing.
Amazing. Can you guys tell us where everybody can find out more about you? Because I have a feeling people are going to want to be calling their legislatures, pressuring them into implementing something like this. Brian?
Yes, ma'am. So very simple, redovoting.com. If you send an email to brian@redovoting.com or john@redovoting.com, we'll respond. What I would like to throw out there is if there is a city, state, any local government that wants to try any issue, let us know. We'll bring it to you, and cost won't be one of your objections.
Good deal.
Thank you both so much for joining us. This is some pretty incredible technology, so we appreciate you being here. And everybody, go check that out. Great work with many more accomplishments to come for them. When we come back, one of our favorite aspects of this show, we will be answering your questions from social media in the next few segments right after this commercial break. Stick around.